covering today is the core we are covering today is specific to what are the three or four options we have to host and integrate with the UiPath your mobile testing in an automation perspective, and what as an outcome you can expect from this. Amit and Sandeep, very well welcome here on the portal. You are live and you can simply go ahead and roll the show.
Great, great. Thanks, Udit. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining this session. Even it's Friday evening, you guys all joined. So really thanks for that. Let me quickly introduce about myself. Myself, Amit Sangle. I am the CEO and the implementation partner, the step one step ahead. So in the step one step, we are working in the robotic process automation. We are working with the robotic test automation. We are working with the robotic application monitoring as well. So the different services with the UiPath only. So with UiPath, with one tool, we are managing different services. And along with me, I have Sandeep Patil, is my colleague who also having the tremendous experience in the mobile test automation or test automation with UiPath, with Selenium, with different tools as well. Okay, so let's discuss about the today's agenda now. What we have, lots of people have seen that they're curious about what exactly we're going to showcase today. So let's go with the agenda today first. Let's see. So as you have seen that, so we, most of the people, they have questions. Okay, we can do the mobile test automation with the UiPath, but they have so many questions I'm always getting from the people's, how we can connect with the real device, how we can connect with the emulators, how we can connect with the cloud devices. So all these things we are going to discuss today. So first use case we are discussing with the real devices, then second with the simulators, and third with the cloud devices. So here in this sessions, we basically, if you want to connect your real device with UiPath, okay, before that, what are the prerequisites required? What are the installation softwares additionally you required? What are the configuration? And then how to connect with the UiPath with your real device, with your simulator, with your cloud devices, with Browser Stacks and Sauce Lab. These are third-party cloud service providers. So with this, we are covering all these use cases on a live today. So you will get more, knowledge about all these three use cases. Yeah. So before starting about the, directly with the use cases, let me share some my opinion about the UiPath test suite, which they have it. So with our clients, we have done so many POCs. We are, in fact, we are doing the implementation also in the test automations using UiPath, where we have seen very good, very good experience in terms of developments. And whenever we have to implement it end-to-end automation. So for example, if you have some part of your steps you have to perform in a web application, some you need to verify in a mobile automations. So end-to-end seamless execution is required, right? So that you can easily achieve in the using UiPath mobile device connections, using UiPath web automations. So many things which we have in our R&D lab. We have explored with the UiPath, with the test automations and with automation as well. And so that's we would like to be share with you guys. So in the month of the March, we already covered one topic in the community about the mobile introduction, how to automate the mobile application in UiPath with different activities. And now, as we promised, today we are covering this configuration setup with the real device, simulators, and the cloud devices. Okay, so let's talk about the first use case, connecting with the real devices. So whenever we are doing any automations, usually for a real-time testings or real-time scenario, we need to use the real devices. Then we should know how to connect with the real devices setup with the UiPath, same as we are doing with the traditional automation. So same thing we can do with the UiPath as well. Second thing, if you have the if you require the multiple devices, so many devices, because in a mobile automation, there are lots of versions are there, so many binaries like Android, iOS, different models are there. So it's not possible to connect with them, or we can connect, get all these devices or set up the simulators for this. So we can go with the cloud options as well. So in the cloud, as per your requirement, you can set up your devices, you can add those capabilities, and you can easily do your executions. And you don't need to change your script as well. That's what we have seen that. Okay. So let's discuss about this first use case, real device setup. So Sandeep can just go ahead. Yeah, it's all about the whenever we have to do any installation configuration, definitely we should know the prerequisites are there, what kind of additional, along with the UI path, we may require some additional softwares, some configurations also are required. So we go with the pattern with every use cases. What are the prerequisites are, we need to understand how to get these prerequisites. And second, what are the steps we need to perform once we're done with all the prerequisite, all the installations. Okay, then how to connect directly with the UI path, okay, your device and your applications. So in this pattern, we are covering all these three use cases. So Sandeep, can you please now take this up and explain about the prerequisite steps? Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Amit. So, hi all. So now for the so connection of the real device with UiPath. So first, there are some prerequisites. So first of all, we need to install Java. Okay, so Java 8. Okay, so minimum version is a Java, and maximum is Java 8 plus. Okay, so first of all, we need to install, download Java from their official website, and download the JDK as per the your machine configuration. Okay, so let's let's go to the oracle.com. Okay, just go to their official website. So, okay, so currently I'm referring the Java JDK 8 because of the JDK 8 is the most stable version. Okay, currently. So just go to their official website, Oracle, and download the 64-bit version Windows, and just download this .exe file. Okay, once the download is completed, okay, just select this and click on download JDK. Okay, so once this is done, so just click on next and finish. Once the installation is completed, so this JDK Java is installed on your program file, okay, in Java folder. Okay? And here is the two releases, JDK and JL. So we need to work on the JDK. So that's why we need to go to under the JDK folder, okay, and just copy this path. Okay, why? Because we need to, okay, configure the environment variable. Okay, so just copy this path and go to the your environment variable and go to the advanced system settings. Click on environment variable. So here is system variable. So here just click on new button and enter Java underscore home and just paste the copied path, right? And click on OK. So I'm click on cancel because I'm already set up the path here. So now the Java home environment is set, but we need to configure the Java compiler also. The Java compiler is placed in the bin folder, right? So here is the Java C, right? Here is the Java compiler. So we need to configure a Java compiler also. Okay, so just copy this and go to the environment variable and go to the path section here and click on the edit. Okay, I'm using the Windows 8. Okay, that's why okay, this environment window is like here, but in Windows 10 there is a difference. Okay, so you need to just perform the same thing there also in Windows 10. Okay, just paste it up to the bin folder path and click on OK. Okay, I'm click on cancel because already I'm setting up the path also. Okay, so then just click on OK and done. So now here is the Java installation and environment setup is done. Okay, so now we need to check the Java properly installed and configured or not. So just go to the command prompt and enter the command Java space hyphen virtual and press enter. So now the Java version is displayed in your command prompt. Okay, so it means your Java installation is properly done and configured properly, right? So first step is done from our side. So next step is we need to Android Studio. Why? Because of okay, we need to create okay an Android environment uh, on our current system. So that's why we need to install Android Studio. Okay, so Android Studio is the application, but we need their SDK path. Okay, software development kit, SDK, Android SDK path. That's why we need to install Android Studio. So just go to the Android Studio official website. Okay, so perform the same steps. Go to the Android Studio, download. Okay, and just click on here, download Android Studio. Okay, accept the terms and condition here and click on download Android Studio for Windows. So now the Android Studio exe is downloaded, started. So once downloaded, just double click on this exe, this setup, and click on next, and finish. And okay, so your Android installation is completed. So after the installation is completed, so Android is installed on your C drive, program file, C drive, users, your users, okay, and go to the app data folder. Okay, but sometimes some computer app data is in okay hidden mode. Okay, so that's why we need to okay, remove the hidden, go to the view and go to the option change and go to the view section and show all hidden files. Okay, just select this radio button and click on OK. So then this folder is displayed in your user section. So then go to the app data folder, go to the local, and here is your Android folder. And between the Android folder, there is the SDK installed. So now this is your SDK. So okay, so now Android is installed in our current system, but we need to okay set the all the environment variables also for Android. Okay, so okay, so that's why we need to set up the all the environment variables. So just copy this path and perform the same operation which we had done on for Java path. Okay, so same click on Java, click on new and click on enter the Android underscore home and paste the particular path here and click on OK. Okay, I'm canceling it because already done. Okay, and after this step, we need to set up the platform tools. Okay, platform tools also. So just copy this path and go to the your path section. Okay, click on edit, go to the end, enter the semicolon and paste this path and click on OK button. Okay, so now it's everything is okay. So Android is properly installed and configured with our current system, right? So now next step is we need to okay. So now so all the software is installed, but we need a install Appium server. Okay, so we because of without Appium server, UiPath and mobile devices cannot be communicate because Appium server is a mediator to communicate between the tool and particular Android device. Okay, so that's why we need to install Appium also, right? So Appium installation is a two-way. Okay, you can directly go to the Appium site. Okay, Appium download. Okay, either you can go to the Appium site and okay download their client Appium client, right? So this is a desktop based application. Okay, I or you can use for Node.js package, because this Windows client also okay internally working on Node.js, okay, npm client, okay. But for the faster result, okay, I'm preferring the npm installing and running npm using npm, right, means Node.js. So we need to install Node.js for the running npm. So that's why we need to go to the okay, download Node.js official website. Download Node.js. Okay, and here is a Windows installer.msi file. Just click on 64-bit, and so installation is downloading is started. Once the downloading is completed, just click on the this installer and click on next and finish. Once the all the installation is finished, the Node.js is installed on your C drive program file. Program file. Here is my Node.js is installed. Right. So same, we need to set up the environment variable for Node.js also. So same, okay, just copy this path and go to the environment variable. Okay, click on new and just enter node underscore j and paste the path here and click on OK. Okay, and for JS modules also we require. That's why, because of without npm we can't install npm. That's why we need to set up this npm also. So that's why here is your Windows command npm. So this setup also we require. So just copy this path and go to the path section. Okay, and click on edit and just end and enter the semicolon and paste and click on OK. So now the everything is downloaded and configured. So we need to check the Node.js is properly configured or not. So just enter or go to the command prompt, enter the node space hyphen version or hyphen v, node hyphen v. Okay, now so this version, so my current installed version is Node 12.18 version, right? So my node is properly uh, actually installed and configured. So now after that we need to install. Okay, so we need to install npm, right? So using by using the node command, we need to okay hit this command on command prompt npm. Okay, npm install -g means global, right? Global, and just click and enter npm. Npm install -g npm. Okay, so this command we have already mentioned here, right? So -g and press enter button. So then automatically npm installation is started. Okay, once the npm installation is done, we need to check npm is properly running or not. So just we need to enter command APPIUM npm and press enter. So now, okay, so now the app welcome to npm version 1.90 and npm REST client is actually running on my local host. So this is my local host, and by default npm is running on 4723 port number, right? So this is very important because of we need to add this okay URL into our UI path, okay, during device configuration. So now, so now uh, so now we have started our main part to connect real device with the UI path. So here we need to first of all okay go to the real devices setting section and just okay setting section there is a build number. Just press 7 times, tap on this build number 7 times, then developer option is new section is enabled in your mobile device, right? Your real mobile device. So once the developer option is enabled, go to go into the developer option section and enable the developer option. There is a one button, just press this button, so automatically developer option is started. So now you need to connect your real devices using USB to your laptop or computer. So now after the computer connected, we need to check the this particular real device is connected or not. So how can you we check? Okay, so we need to enter one Android command. This is the ADB space devices, right? So once this command is okay hit, so we this command give us a list of connected devices. So currently in my laptop, I have two devices are connected. This one is my okay. This one is my real device, and this one is my Android emulator. Okay, so two devices are connected, right? So it means my devices is properly connected, okay, and I'm ready for the automation, right? So but we need to once again we need to configure in UiPath also, okay. So that's why, okay, so first prerequisite is you need to use the UiPath Pro version, okay. And so then when during selecting project, just select the mobile testing project, so you can automatically all the settings and all the dependencies is available for mobile application, okay. So we need to go to the mobile automation pane, and here is the mobile device manager, okay. So this is our main core of core section for the configuration or configure for configuration of the for the mobile device. So just click on this, okay. And for here is the two section, application and devices, all right. So first of all, we need to configure the device. So you need to click on this plus button, please add a device. So once you click on this plus button, so this window is displayed. So you can enter any name, okay. For example, so my real device is Samsung, okay, Samsung Galaxy Note, for example. So this name is anything. It's not an issue for this name. Okay, APM URL. Okay, so APM URL. Okay, so we need use this APM URL. This APM URL, right? But here is that you can confuse for 000, but not don't confuse because of it's a local host. Okay, so you we need to enter here HTTP. Okay, HTTP 127. Okay, by default every localhost port is 127.0.0.1. Okay, colon by default okay, colon, and port number is 4723. So colon 4720. Okay, so this is my APM URL. Okay, but we need to mention the server also. So APM APM server is running on based on the web driver. That's a WD. Okay, web driver, and forward backward slash hub. So this is our complete APM URL, which is used to communicate between real devices with UiPath, right? So next dependency is platform. So just here is the two platform, Android and iOS. So for now we are selecting the Android, and here is the once again device name. So this device name we need to capture from here. Okay, this is actual device name. Okay, actual device name. Okay, so just copy this device name which is connected. Okay, copy it and paste it here. Okay, and here is a we need a platform version. Platform version means your Android operating system version which is installed in your real device, right? So in my real device, okay, so there is a version is platform version is 11, and then click on save and close, right? So I'm just closing because I'm already configured here. So this is my Samsung real devices. So this is my FPM URL. This is my platform Android. This is my real device number name, and this is my platform one, right? So now real device is my configured properly. So after that, we need to configure the application also. Okay, which application you want to take, okay, or execute on your real device, right? So that's why we need to click on plus button here. Okay, select the application. Okay, select this application. Click on plus button. Yes, okay, your application. For example, it's a e-com app. For example, e-com app. Okay, here we need to give the path of application. Okay, application path means, okay, you need to, okay, either you have the any uh, remote location okay, path, like, okay, if your APK is stored in your app your company server or etc., so you just need to give this path. Or if you have already a .apk file and stored in any drive, so just give the this drive path. Okay, for example, I have the downloaded this general store app. Okay, just click on property. Okay, and taking this path into this APK file, right? And just and just paste it here, right? And then click on save and close, right? So this, okay, same thing I'm done here, right? And just save and close. So now we need to check so everything is configured properly or not, right? So I'm just go in for anything. If you have go to the application, and this is my application. Just click on this start application button and select a device, okay, where you want to execute. So I'm selecting this Samsung real device on my real device, and this is my application name, and just click on connect button. So automatically, so connection is established, and you can see here is the Appian server is running. Okay, okay. So means Appian is okay, establishing connection between my real device with UiPath, right? Okay. Now, so okay, device is okay, launch and application is installed, right? This is the this okay, using this step you can configure any real device with, okay, your part. Okay, if you want to, okay, if you want to uh, okay, automate, so there is a one way. Okay, okay, so we need to first of all okay, eh, go to the project and add any sequence or any test case. Okay, for example, I'm creating this real device test case. Okay, and this is my sequence, and I'm okay going to the activities section. And first of all, we need to go to the mobile devices section, and okay, use this mobile device connection activity here. So this activity used to okay, to test the connection. Okay, so just and click on this select connection detail section. Select the device which we want, which I want to, okay, connect Samsung real device and the application, right? And click on save. Okay, so once it's done, so automatically this activity capture all the dependency or capabilities which we require. Okay, so capture from your device manager to your uh, actual actual script or okay. So this is my platform, okay, which we have already okay added in our device manager section, right? So project or platform name, platform version, device name, and application path, right? So so now connection is done. So for example, okay, I need to enter, okay, I need to click on, I'm connecting once again. So my actually my okay, my mobile is okay locked, that's why. Okay, so we need to click on this let's shop button. Click on let's shop button. Okay, so okay, so I will be used the tap, okay, tap activity. Okay, this tap activity, just drag and drop. Okay, and just click on this indicate target button. Okay, and indicate the particular element. Okay, so this one indicate and just click on connect. Okay, now so this button is okay uh, setting the tap activity, right? So now okay, so now we need to run file. So starting the execution. First execution is started. Okay. And click on let's shop button. Okay. So execution is done, right? In that way we can automate the using a real device. Okay, so now next thing is okay, so we need to okay using emulator device setup. Okay, for the Android emulator I'm using the Genymotion for the Genymotion emulator. Okay, so this is the free for personal use only. Okay, so in so we need to configure emulator. So all the steps are same here. Okay, but there is a one. Okay, so we don't need to connect via USB because of emulator is installed in current machine. That's all. Okay, so once we are open the emulator. Okay, so we need to go to the UI path, go to the mobile device manager here. Okay, and doing the same thing here. Okay. Okay. Just enter your emulator name. Okay. Uh, enter your emulator name. Okay. Emulator name, APM URL, platform, and device name. Device name using. Okay. We are taking from here, right? So this platform version, right? And just click on save and close. And once again, just if we need to check everything working fine or not, so just select the application and okay, and just click on connect. Okay, so this is my Android emulator, right? And application launch on Android emulator. For the automation, so same thing you can do, okay, which we have done for real devices. Just use your activity, okay, as per your requirement, and of finding the element and perform the operation, right? So now next thing, okay, next thing is we need to set up the cloud devices setup. Okay, so first of all, so for cloud devices, you need to okay, create an account on Browser Stack and SoftLab. Okay, so I have the already created the account on okay, Browser Stack and SoftLab. Okay. Yes. So this is my Browser Stack, okay, account. And okay, we need to just go to the okay, automate. Okay, so here we need no need to no need to configure the our APM URL here, because of all the APM related tasks. Okay, all the APM related tasks, okay, is taken care by this cloud provider, right? This cloud provider, right? This is the APM cloud hosting is taken care by Browser Stack. So this URL, okay, which is we are received from the our account, okay, our account. So we need to go to the
So, Sandeep, just a
automate.
minute. Sandeep, just a minute. Before going further, so team, as of now, we have seen the UiPath mobile device connections with real device, with this emulator. Is there any question you guys have?
I was thinking this is the last topic and then we open the house. So
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so before that, let me add some more points here. Exactly why we need to understand whatever the installation configuration part which Sandeep is showing us. Why need to understand it? Because because we need to connect with the UiPath mobile device manager. But whenever you have to do the mobile automation, the lots of prerequisites are there, capabilities are there. Don't we need to be set up. Same like as a web automation. If you connect with the Chrome, you need to be install the extension. Then only UiPath communicate with the Chrome. Same thing in the mobile automation also. You want to connect with the simulators or the real devices. They need some configuration, some connections. Okay, so that's why we need to install the Java, or we need to install the Android Studios on APM, because we are communicating with the mobile with the UiPath to the APM. So that's why Sandeep is specifically showing all these things, because time people they are, I mean, they start the mobile automations, but they are getting and stock on all these installation configuration, because no understand a step by steps things are there. So that's why he's mentioning all this information which is need to be understand, very important. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier as well, uh, because mobile automation, if you're dealing with the testing, So there are so many devices which you need to test it, and we don't have the different kind of devices available, or real devices, or some simulators. We don't have all kind of different variants. So that's why it's important to understand those things are there. I hope you getting all the inside details in this session. Okay, so let's move ahead for the further. The last topic is there, a last use case with the cloud devices. And with the cloud devices, because the if you want to connect with the iOS or iPad using the cloud devices, you can connect it very easily. And that all these things we have done it with our clients with the implementations. So same thing you can see over here as well. So UiPath supports currently with the browser stacks and with the Sauce Lab. We also tried with the P Cloudy as well, but with the P Cloudy, there are some dependencies are there which is not there in their site. So that's why not able to communicate it. But as of now, if you want to be automate your mobile automations with the cloud devices, you can go with the browser stack. So many devices are there, so many with different binary, Android, iOS, and you can easily automate all these things, and you don't need to change your script as well. If whatever activity you can use it, you don't need to, you can. So whenever you want to do a compatibility testing, so whenever you're doing a testing, a compatibility testing is very important. And for the compatibility testing, you need a I mean, if you're dealing with the compatibility testing with the mobile applications, and then you need a so many devices, so many versions, OS, iOS, Android, because if you're not able to, I mean, achieve maximum handsets, your application is not good for testing. I mean, it test result is not good, I can say. For that's the purpose, it's very important to get the all these devices, because it's not possible to, real time we have all these devices. So the cloud platform is available, like as a browser stack, Sauce Labs. They are providing all these devices. We just have to create account, and there are some premium plans as well. So, but free, if you want to explore, there you can go with the free account as well, and you can connect with the device for the 200 minutes. I mean, session they can allowing, and whatever devices you wanted, you can select those devices, and what are the capabilities are required to configure it. You can same configure in the UiPath, which Sandeep now just showing, and you can configure and you can connect it, and rest of your script is ready. You don't need to change script. Only I mean, if it's Android or iOS, only you need to change. But if you have Samsung Galaxy, for example, with Android version 8.0, and if you're switching in OnePlus 60 with Android version 10, you don't need to change your script. You just have to set up the connections. That's it, only you have to do it. But for this, you need to understand how to set up these connections, how to get all these browser capabilities, because which is something outside of your UiPath. Because whenever we're doing UiPath, activities are available, but these are the knowledge which is the apart from the UiPath. So that's why it's very important to understand these things. Then only you can do the mobile automation with the cloud devices. Because so many people are asking me, we want to connect our devices. Okay, with simulator we can do, but we don't know how to connect with the browser stack. So these are the things as a prerequisite we need to understand. All right. So yeah, Sandeep. So let's cover further things. Then we'll go for the question answer session.
Thank you for bringing this perspective. I think so. We will do a little bit more discussion on that topic. Let just this third phase, the emulator side, get covered, because this is a very interesting topic. But really, I want to cover some more insight along with you and asking you a few quick questions, which may be relevant for this audience. Thanks. Over to you, Sandeep.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so now, okay, so here is okay, so we need to all the this dependency. Okay, we will get from the browser stack. Oh, okay, our account. Okay, once you are registered, okay, just we you don't need to okay don't need to okay uh, uh, create or understand. Just go to the app automate section. Okay, you just go to the app automate section, and first of all you need to okay, so you need to okay configure all the things. But how to configure? Okay, so this is okay, just a minute. loading. So you need to go to this app automate section, and here we need to first of all so configure the our application. So for now, we are focusing on the mobile automation. That's why we are going here. In the session, current session. Because my current session is started. That's why I'm stopping all the session. Okay. Go to the dashboard. Okay. So now here, first of all, we need to upload our project or our application with for Android APK file, and for the iOS .ipa file we need to upload to the browser stack server. Just click on this browse button and select your application. So this application is uploaded, uh, uploading starting in and once the uploading is completed, okay, so automatically browser stack give us a application URL. Okay, so application URL is this. Okay, so and now we need to configure, adding all the capabilities which we require for automation. For example, APM URL. So just go to the here and just copy this APM URL hub dot browser stack. So this is APM URL for browser stack, and copy this and just paste it here. Select the platform, and here the we don't need to go to the our command prompt for the device name, because of these devices are on the cloud, browser stack cloud. That's why we need to go here and copy this device. If you want to select another device, just go here. For example, here the lots of devices available. I'm selecting this, for example, Samsung Galaxy S9. So automatically here the device is changed. So just copy this device name and paste it here, right? And the platform version also here. Here platform number. Well, just here, and after that we need to enter the additional capabilities for the username and key. So this username and key is already allocated for our account. So this is my user and this is my key, right? Just use same capability. This is in the key and value pair. Okay, so this is my key and this is value. This is my key, this is value. So just copy this and paste it here. All the key. And everything is configured, and then just click on save and close, right? So now, so my device and my application, device is configured. We need to configure the application. So go to the click on plus button. Click on plus button, and here just go to the app. This is my uh, actual application path. Just copy this path and paste it here and enter the name. So I'm already set up here, right? This is my application path and this is my application. Just click on save and close. And we need to check by click on this green button. So browser stack Google Pixel 3 and just click on connect. So now UiPath is communicating with the browser stack. It will take a time because of it's a connection between our local device to cloud. That's why it will take some time.
So guys, right now here everything.
So this
So
is
suppose you don't want to be set up with APMs and Android Studio. So everything is on a cloud. Okay. So now this UiPath mobile device manager is connecting with the cloud. So that's why Sandeep has entered the APM URL, because this APM is running on the browser stack cloud. Your application also Sandeep also have upload the APK files or IPA file if you do want to iOS automations. So that's also there, and directly it's connecting with there. So here you're facing some latency issues here as compared with your real device or with the emulator, but it's not, I mean, so many difference it have, but it's good, we can say, because we have here lots of devices we can explore and we can use it. And one more thing, if you lots of people they're asking, we want to do with the iOS automation, iOS mobile application, how we can do it. So in this way, using the browser stack or using a Sauce Lab, these are cloud devices. You can connecting with the different iOS devices, add their capabilities, APM URL, upload your IPA files, and then you can automate your iOS devices automation using UiPath. Okay.
so.
Yeah. So
Thank
now we have done with the browser stack. So
Yeah.
let's quickly, Sandeep, just walk through it in Sauce Lab, because now people have understood exactly if you want to connect with the cloud devices, we need to understand the APM URL, which is a cloud URL. Second, we need to understand the capabilities, so that how we get the capabilities. So that also we know that. So let's quickly showcase the Sauce Lab part. Then we open for the question and answer session.
Okay, so for Sauce Lab, okay, and like a browser, same as a browser stack, but there is just a little bit different. Okay, in the Sauce Lab, okay, we don't need to enter the username and key in the desired capability, because Sauce Lab is everything is okay placed in their APM URL. Okay, so once you have the create the account on Sauce Lab, then you need to go to account and go to the user setting. Okay, and here is your Sauce Lab APM URL. Okay, just copy this URL and okay, and just go to the plus, click on this plus button and paste it here. Okay, enter any name for this device. Okay, soft device. See, okay, and enter the your platform. Okay, select platform. Okay, and so device name. Okay, so how can we get the device name? Okay, so that's why go to the their documentation. So go to their documentation. Okay, they are providing the platform configurator. Okay, so go to the platform configurator. We are using the APM, so that's why select APM. Okay, select a device as per your requirement, iOS or Android emulator. So I'm selecting Android emulator. Select device from here. Select the Android version as per your requirement. Select APM version. My current APM version is 1.9. Okay, so web or app testing. So obviously we are currently working on app testing. So select app testing, and yes, we need to specify app file name, means your application name. Okay, so same we need to upload our application in Sauce. Okay, in Sauce Cloud. Okay, so same go to the mobile app. Okay, yeah, click on this app upload button and choose your okay application from your local device, right? So I'm not uploading because I'm already uploaded. Okay, so just I'm go to the settings section. Okay, and here is the my okay, so this is my application. So just I'm copy. Okay, and then okay, we need to pass it here, right? And just pass it. Done. Okay, so everything is okay, done, and then automatically Sauce Lab is created all the capabilities. Okay, so this one is my capability. Okay, so we will be used as per our requirement. Okay, so just go to the device name. Device name is okay, this is my device. Copy it, give device name and paste it here. Okay, that's it. Okay, go to here. So this is my version name number, operating system. Okay, just this. And then click on save and close. Right. So I'm just okay. I'm doing okay. I'm already created. It's the same thing, right? So save and close, and we will do it. Checking the all the things is working fine or not. So let's connect.
So Sandeep, there would be, I mean, your session has been
Yeah,
expired. So that's why you're getting this error.
yeah,
But
right.
that's fine because our aim is need to be show exactly how to do the configuration with the cloud devices. So that we wanted to showcase, guys.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So we're done with the all these three modes: real device, simulators, and the uh, browser stack and source labs. So that's it from this side presentation side, guys. I hope you got the idea exactly why we are doing, why we required these three, why we need to understand connecting with the real device, simulator, and cloud devices. Okay, and how to do connections. So these are the steps which Sandeep has demonstrated to us. Okay, so we are ready for the question and answer session now.
Sumit, thanks, Sandeep. Well, it was a very deep dive and very hands-on perspective and slash the hands-on session you have done it. I have few questions, but before I get started, I just want to check in the audience and in the chat box if you can see and let us know if you have any questions which require your attention first. House is open. Feel free to ask any questions if you have. And if not there, then I will ask my set of questions.
Okay, so first question we have is Android Studio open source. So Sandeep, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, Android Studio is a open source.
Yeah. So
Even
Chaitanya,
also the other source labs and all that you have demonstrated, those are also open source, right?
No, 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 no. It's a paid. Okay. So you can
Okay,
okay.
okay,
It's a paid. Okay, but they are okay. Trial version for the they are give us a few minutes to try, okay, for the POC. Just try it.
so
okay,
yeah, just want to top up that. What are the cloud devices? So you can create your Google accounts or with different accounts, and they have given some minutes, 30 minutes, 200 minutes, okay, for their trial
okay, okay,
purposes. But if you want to then upgrade, then you have they have some plans that you have to upgrade it.
okay, got it. And the file that you said that when we need to upload the application, that means you mean to say that we need to upload the .apk file of the application, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or either you if you have the okay Google Play okay URL, so you
Mm-hmm,
can also
mm-hmm.
okay okay sample app and REST API.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
It's a, okay,
got it.
they are giving the lots of options.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
There are a few more questions on the chat.
Can we use ADB tools instead of installing Android SDK package? Okay, so you can use the any ADB tool. Okay, but before that, okay, we need to configure. Okay, make the environment for Android suitable environment. Okay, because of without Android environment, okay, these devices this emulator are open, but they can't communicate. Okay, because of they require the something okay environment also. Okay, because currently I'm using the Genymotion emulator. Okay, it's not a part of the Android Studio. Okay, it's a third party. They are providing us. Okay, but the for communication between the system and the particular device, so we require the SDK. Okay, and so at SDK, so we need to okay. Second benefit is okay if we have the SDK, so we can also okay create new versions devices also using SDK. That's why indicate is a preferable. I hope I'm okay. I'm on the answer for your question. The one to know.
Okay. Yeah, Sandeep, we have one more question from Brinda. Is APM only option for connection to iOS?
Only FP, only option for the automation currently for the open source automation so APM is the only option. Okay, maybe there is some other tools also. Okay, and like okay, but for using UiPath currently APM is the only solution.
Great. Yeah, guys, now you can ask your question. So that's about the chat questions and answers. So if you have
Sandeep,
any
I do
question,
have
now
one question.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of this Node.js which we have installed at the beginning?
Yeah, because of okay, so APM is based on the okay, based on Node.js. So there is a two types of APM version. One is a desktop application. You can okay install the desktop application, but the desktop application internally work as like a okay command prompt. Okay, this is the okay. So this desktop application base is a node. Okay, this is APM is a node based application. Okay, so sometimes so Windows installer okay taking a more memory okay and okay for the performance okay so performance use case so actually I'm preferring by okay running the APM through command prompt. And so Node.js, okay, when you install Windows version, okay, means desktop version of APM, so automatically Node.js is automatically installed. Okay, but in today's session, I'm installing via Node.js command prompt. Okay, that's why I'm first of all manually install Node.js and then using Node.js I'm installing APM package.
yeah. So
Yeah, okay,
basically,
got it.
yeah. So basically, there are two ways. One with the you can write with the exe installer, and second with the command prompt. But with the if you're going with the command prompt, additionally you want to install the Node.js. That the things are there.
I do have one other question. So whether is there any timeout will be there that once the connection has been established with our device from the system?
Yeah, I think 500 milliseconds.
Okay, okay, thank you, Sandeep. Yeah.
I have one more question. This is Vrinda. For connecting to iOS devices, is it only possible to work with applications that we upload on the cloud, or can we use the original iOS devices that are already available on the phone?
Yeah, but okay, so actual devices, okay, available, okay, actual devices, okay, you can't connect with the Windows machine. You need a Mac machine.
So Vrinda, currently, if you want to do the iOS automation, so currently there's only with the cloud devices you can connect.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't understand exactly. So what I'm trying to ask is that let's say I want to automate calling somebody from my iOS phone, right? So the application will not be available to upload like an IAP file on the browser, like Sandeep and shown. So how can we, automate those apps which are already available on the phone?
Okay, so that's okay. I'm asking, okay, I'm giving you the same answer. Okay, because of on the real devices, iOS dual device, okay, iOS dual device application, we can't, okay, we can't automate, okay, from using UiPath and APM on Windows machine. But if you want to automate iOS application which is installed in your device, you can automate using APM or using APM with Java, but in Mac operating system, not in Windows operating system. Okay, because currently UiPath is running support only for Windows and okay, so obviously iOS phone we are connecting to Windows computer or laptop, but we need to for communication purpose we can't communicate with iOS devices directly from Windows machine, right? So that's why we have only one option to test the application directly on cloud. And your second question is you need to you need to upload the you can't upload your particular file, right? IPA file if you all know. Okay, so it's not an issue because the if you have no IPA file for particular IPA file, so you can go to other options also here. So you can uh, give us the your application URL. Okay, because if when you have the license of the browser stack, so you can directly communicate with your test flight also. Okay, because of in your IPA installed in your test flight account, so you can directly communicate and use via browser stack and test flight. This is the other.
I understand. Sandeep, I just have one last follow-up question. So when you say that I need a Mac machine as well, but a UiPath is not available for MacBooks, right? So my UiPath connector will work on my Windows machine, and the communication between my phone and APM will be using my Mac machine. Is that correct?
Sorry. No.
What I'm trying to ask is, you said that
Vrinda, let me answer first part of it. When you have requested that, hey, since we are as a UiPath, we don't have solutions for MacBook. At this point of time, the answer is yes. If you are enrolled with the UiPath Insider Preview, you will see something called as a Studio Web that's available for non-Windows machine. That means it's going to support macOS and Chromebooks. So if you are on an Insider program, you can check that as well.
okay, thank you so much. That's really helpful.
We are reaching to the top of the hour, but I still have a few questions which I want to quickly ask. If we do not have a question from the community, then probably I can ask it to Amit and Sandeep to answer it. Well, thank you very much. It's like absolutely a known topic, and it's topic which is critical because we all face issue when we try to connect mobile devices, whether it's devices in our hand, when we are trying to work with the simulator. And the third most important, which now becoming is a cloud connections, which you guys have showcased with two of the third-party application providers who are supporting a numerous number of a volume of a devices which is available across the globe. And it's been proven that none of the organization can have every device on their desk for a testing. And that's where the power of UiPath and these cloud provider comes in. But I do know that this is not a new topic. There are so many other tools which are available in the market. How do you see as a differentiator from a UiPath perspective? Like what makes you think you guys are doing without UiPath for so long? Now you have started doing it with UiPath. So what's the wow factor here? Why we should go ahead and do it with UiPath? I mean, what's your view with it?
Yeah, that's a very good question you asked. I would like to answer this question. So first of all, you can see all these connections. So you can see in just 1 hour. Okay, so forget about the third-party pre-installation that we already done it. But in 1 hour, we can easily connect with. You can see 1 hour we can easily connect with the real devices, with simulators, cloud devices. So all these configuration wizard, which UiPath has specified very clearly. So any layman, we just show, okay, these are things are you want to configure, they can configure. But same thing if you're going with the any kind of any other tools, so they need to understand entire this parameters, scripting, and then they want to understand. So that's one of the challenge we have seen that. Okay, so that's challenge which you have has overcome with the configurations connection with different platforms. That's one thing. Second thing, UiPath has provided all the mobile automation activities, all. If you want to enter any data, if you want to scroll up, you want to scroll down, horizontal, verticals, or if you want to be tap on any mobile elements, or the if you in fact we have automated notifications as well. If whatever notification is coming, so it is going and it is pulling down the notification center, it's capturing notification. So there are different use cases which we have already done it in our lab. And so that, and in we have found this UiPath, we can easily automate those other stuffs are there, and it reduce we can say a 50% time of the mobile automation development. It reduced in that levels. And so that's a solution. I mean, we have received from the UiPath. Second thing is most important things which one of the customer they have faced with other tools, because they have to create something with the web platform, and same thing they have to check with the mobile applications. So end-to-end testing they have wanted to achieve, but again, both the things it's not possible with another. But in UiPath, if you want to the mobile, so communication with the web and to the directly with the mobile. So in one test case, we have automate both the interfaces. So not both. I mean, if you want to automate multiple interfaces, like as a desktop, web, Excel, mobiles. So those end to end, you can easily automate with the UiPath, and in fact, with the good execution speed as well.
Okay. And when you are saying automated, are you referring, can you give me some example how this works? Like, let's say for a real-time example, I have a Amazon application on one of our iOS device. And if I click my card button and submit something into my card, can you help me understand the full one workflow, which help me understand what's the start point? What's the, let's say, for example, once I click on my card, I want to update my SFDC or my SAP business application, which actually covers this cart information, go back and check whether I have that product available in my stock or not. So can you give me a journey kind of a thing, an example which make me understand or the audience understand how the total workflow looks like, the full workflow looks like?
Got it. So for example, let's say you have to, in the Amazon, you have to search some particular product. These are the workflows. So typically we have to enter the Amazon mobile application. So then we have to log in and we have to search the particular product. That's the things which we have to do. The other steps.
Yeah.
For that, we have to go to the UiPath, a mobile device manager is there. So we need to open this template first. Then we have to set up the device connection first.
Correct.
Okay, which Sandeep has shown just in the real devices.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have to set up so for that, but it is available only on UiPath Studio Pro. So first you have to be UiPath Studio Pro on your machine. Exactly. Second thing, so once you have the mobile, so there are different mobiles packages, dependencies are already there in UiPath. So you don't need to go and additionally all these add dependencies. You don't need to do. Okay, second thing, create the your sequence and add the mobile device connections. So here we have to create the first device connections, which Sandeep have shown, and second, your applications, which application you want to automate. So their APK files you have to upload on your local machines and the path which you have to configure, and you're done with the connections. Then you have to start your activities. So whatever activities are there, suppose you have to enter some data. I mean, you have to search some data. Right. Use the set text activity. Go to set text. You have to indicate these elements, because once you connected your devices on UiPath mobile device manager, it will show the replica of your device. Okay. Yep. And you have to indicate those particular elements, and then whatever information you have to pass, you can pass it. If you want to tap somewhere, add the tap activity and you can tap it. So in this way, you can automate, just save it and run it.
Okay, now I got it. Like, let's paint a picture. Well, with the people who are remaining on the call, I think so the session was very meaningful and helpful. If you have any feedback, you will receive a survey form after this. Feel free to fill it up and help us with the feedback. Amit and Sandeep, if you would like to pass on your contact detail in the chat box, you can, so that people, if they have furthermore questions, they can reach out to you directly, or they can reach out to myself and Vibhor and other people, and we will try to help everybody.
Definitely.
The slides will be available. Yes, the recording and the slides will be available, Vinitha.
Definitely. So I'm giving my LinkedIn
Yeah,
link. So you can connect with LinkedIn. You can drop me your messages on LinkedIn. Feel free to ask me in terms of mobile automation, any questions, any doubts you have it, you can feel free to connect with us.
yeah, absolutely. I want to personally connect with you, Amit, and talk about more how this works and how we can work together on these opportunities, because this makes a lot of sense for me. This is untouched area where automation is bringing a lot of interest apart from the traditional process automations we actually talk about. So that's really a good topic to furthermore explore and cover in the community.
Sure, Udit. Definitely will discuss. Okay.
Hi, this is Divya. Actually, I joined late. Where the recording will be posted? Just want to know that.
Which you click to join. The next time you will click on that same, you will be landed to the page. Here, the session is over. Here is the recording.
Okay.
The registration page, the community registration page.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Vibo.
Yeah.
Thanks, Udit. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.